Snyder, Saddleback Sprinklers, coming to you from my front yard here the first week of May. I'm putting this up today because despite my best efforts since the 1st of March, I've been working around the clock and we've gotten a lot of work done. We've seen a lot of you. But it is about 2 months since I sent my email back on March 4th. You might remember this. I sent out an invitation and you guys responded with signing up for sprinkler turn-ons and inspections, backflow tests. Got lots of people on the schedule almost overnight. It was great. And I really appreciate you checking in as early as you did. It's given me a chance to plan ahead. And we've had a really good run for the last 8 weeks. Lots of people already taken care of, but you're still waiting on me. And it's the nature of my business. As I hit repairs, every repair I hit, and we're talking about the unavoidable ones, every time I fix something, it pushes the schedule a little bit forward. So we're doing much better than we did last year. Happy to report that. But here we are, it's May 4th, and I want to empower you to be able to turn on your own system in case it starts getting warm and dry as we head into May. We've lucked out real well with the last several weeks of it cooling off and raining periodically, so again, doing much better than last spring. But with today's instructional video of how to turn on your own system, it'll give you a way to get water on the lawn if I haven't gotten there yet. So while you're waiting for me, the yard can stay nice and green, and then I'll still come and get you up and going here a little bit later, just as soon as I can get there. So let's take a look. I got some handy notes to help me keep focus. There are two types of connections when turning on a sprinkler system here in the Magic Valley. You've got city water connections and well connections that they have valves deep in the ground, and then they have a backflow preventer, and then the water heads out to the rest of the system. And then you have pressurized irrigation systems where you just turn on a valve, a main valve, and you check your filter. We'll talk about the pressurized irrigation systems in a moment. So there's a couple of things that you want to turn off and reset. When I did your sprinkler blowout last year, I shut the main water off, but then I left a few things open that we want to close and reset before we turn the water on. If you do that, it'll save you geysers and water coming out in places that it looks like you have a horrible leak. You don't. I just left some things open so that they would drain throughout the winter in the event of something starting to leak in the winter. I never wanted your water to go back into the sprinkler system for any reason. So drains are open, backflow assembly is open. We're going to close all that here real quick, and then we're going to turn the water on. So what's down deep in the hole? Go ahead and put your camera down there for a second, Brad. Brad's helping me with filming today. Way down there, you see the top of two valves. Now, this is, again, city water connections and well connections, and they look exactly the same. A lot of people not quite sure which is which. Well, this is what's down in that hole. This is a model of a main and drain setup. Here is your house water or your well water going off to your house. And we tap that water line to start the sprinkler system. This is a main angle valve, and this is where we shut the water on and off. We come down from the top of the ground. This is deep in the ground with a sprinkler key, one of these. And you can get these at Home Depot, Lowe's. If you're in Kimberly, Select Source has them off of Kimberly Road. In Jerome, go to D&B Supply. These are real cheap, $3-4 bucks. So that's what you need. And you stick that down on the ground. And you notice on the sprinkler key, it's two-pronged. That's made so that you fit it over the X, the top of that valve, and then you turn it on or off. These are screw valves. They screw on open or closed. They're not ball valves. So you turn them round and round, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Now there are two of them, and when you're looking down the hole, you're not quite sure which is which. Here's the main valve. What's this other one? This is the drain, and as you can see, it goes nowhere. It's just open. This is so that I can drain your system out when I do the sprinkler blowout in the fall. Your water's shut down here, and everything from this point is blown out and winterized. But we got to reset it before we turn the water on. So the first thing you're going to do is put your sprinkler key down there, and before you open the main water valve, you're going to close this one with your sprinkler key. And so that's closed, and that'll keep you from flooding out your sprinkler box. Now there's one more step before turning this on, and that's over here at the backflow assembly, or backflow preventer as a lot of people know it. A lot of people, you have your valves over here and your backflow assembly here. Sometimes these are combined. You'll have your backflow assembly and then further down in a round box, but in the same area are your valves. So they're separate or together. Don't let that throw you. We've closed the drain. Then we come over here to the backflow assembly. And go ahead and throw your camera down in here for a second. You're going to find it like this. If I did your sprinkler blowout last fall, it may very well look like this. These test cocks on top, this is for backflow testing, these are going to be open. You're going to find them open from the winter, and you're going to find our two shutoff valves on either side at a 45-degree angle. We're going to reset them for spring. So first, we're going to open these all the way. Now these are ball valves. Rotate 90 degrees, you open or close them. So have both of them in line. And here's a model of the same thing. We're just going to go back and forth a little bit. We're going to straighten these out. And then you're going to close the test cocks. Now a lot of times people will turn on the water and water will come flying out of these and make a huge mess. It looks horrible. You don't have a leak. We just forgot to close the test cocks. So we go back down here. And looking at our model, you take a flathead screwdriver. These are all miniature ball valves. A lot of people, they'll think you're supposed you have to cap them or something like that. You don't have to cap them. Just get a flathead screwdriver, probably a little short, stubby one, and get it on there. And they are just a tiny version of this same kind of valve. Take your flathead screwdriver, rotate 90 degrees, and you will close the test cocks on top. Just like that. Now, not everybody has a double check assembly in the ground. There are several different kinds of backflow preventers. A lot of them are in the ground. That's a double check assembly. A lot of systems, especially the older ones in town, they have something more that looks like this. And it's above ground. This is a pressure vacuum breaker. It's a backflow preventer, but it works a little differently than the other one. And if I did your sprinkler blowout, you're probably going to find it looking like this. When you turn on the water in the main and drain, water comes up this side, passes through the backflow assembly, and then out to your sprinkler system. And right now, if I winterized it, I would have left these at a 45-degree angle and both test cocks open. So again, we straighten these out. That opens these all the way. These are the two shutoff valves. So those are open. And then flathead screwdriver, put it in the side of the test cock. Again, this is a miniature version of this. Same ball valve, just tiny. Flathead screwdriver, put it in here, rotate 90 degrees so that your screwdriver end is perpendicular, and you will have closed this. In fact, you can look down the end of it and you'll see the end of the silver ball valve inside, and that'll tell you it's closed. Same for here. We're going to close this one. If you happen to have caps, go ahead and put them on there, but the caps are just to keep it clean. We use these for backflow testing purposes, and that's about their only service. And now this pressure vacuum breaker is reset and ready to have you turn the sprinklers on. So there you go. So now we go back down here to our live model, and I'm down here in the hole. I get my flathead screwdriver and I close each of these. Now with these closed, these open, and with my drain valve closed, I'm going to put my sprinkler key down hole. And a lot of times having a little flashlight is very helpful for this. You can shine it down there and you can see. So we're going to close the drain. That's this. And now we're going to open the main. And that's this. Bring that camera down here one more time so we can see. In my case here at my house, this one is the drain and this one is the main. If you aren't sure which is which, no worries. I don't half the time either. Start with both of these closed. I'm opening it right now. But start with both closed and then just open one. If nothing happens, you probably have the drain. Close it, try the other one. That's probably the main, and that'll get your water going. Now, the combination of those two things, resetting the drain valve, resetting your backflow assembly, now you turn the water on and you've got water into your sprinkler system. Now, pressurized irrigation systems, your systems are much simpler. You don't have a backflow assembly, you don't have main and drain valves deep in the ground, you don't even need a special tool. In fact, if you're on a pressurized irrigation system, you don't have a backflow preventer. The backflow testing you're hearing about in Twin Falls, there's no need for it for you because you're on irrigation and you're not connected to city water. That's only for people with city water connections. And yes, I'm doing backflow tests along while we're doing this other. But if you're on pressurized irrigation, you're going to just find a rectangle box, probably either out by the street or in the backyard, along the back corner of your fence. You'll pull the lid off and you'll find a valve like this, pipe running through it, and it'll probably be in the closed position. This is a big ball valve, and then it'll come up, you know, with pipe, and you'll have like a filter, and that's it. And so all you got to do is make sure that the cap is on the bottom of the filter and everything's set back, and then just turn it on so that it's straight in line, and that turns on the pressurized irrigation, and that's all you got to do. You go to the clock and go ahead and start running through zones. Let's see. Then you go to your sprinkler controller, and in town there are 3 different models predominantly. There's either Hunter controllers, which this is, or there's Rainbird controllers, or Irritrol rain dials. There's a few other models out there, but by and large, if you can get your center dial, or on some there's a slide, a little button down here that you slide it to the run position. If you have anything slid or pointing to run, on, auto, any of those words, you have turned on your sprinkler system. And if you left it plugged in throughout the winter, most of our settings from last year will still be there. I've got 9-volt backup batteries that will have saved the program all winter. And you should be able to just fire it up, and then when I come here in a few weeks, we can make further adjustments if need to. As you are turning on your clock and you go through and watch your zones, you might turn it on manually and go ahead and run through things. Check for leaks, broken sprinklers, you know, things in the drip line from spring cleanup. You might have nicked a drip line, things like that. If there's anything that needs to be fixed, make a note of it. You can send me an email or give me a call about it. In fact, if you're real handy with an iPhone or your Android, take a picture and text it to me. My phone number, just text it to 421-0215, or send me email, Chris@Saddleback Sprinklers. I love photos. It helps a lot, and I'm really familiar with all of your properties anyway, so you can jog my memory. I'll probably know exactly what you're talking about. And if you have something broken on a particular zone that needs to be fixed, I can help you shut just that zone down so you can use all your other sprinklers and maybe only have to drag a hose to just that corner of the yard until I get there to fix it. Unless I hear from you otherwise, I am still coming. If you signed up back in March, I still have your work order, and I'm still working through the routes in order. I've got a little bit left in Twin, and then I've got Kimberly and Jerome, but we're going to be pushing, you know, through mid-May here. And whatever the weather does, I want you to be ready. If you need anything, call, text, email, even Facebook me. Again, I love the photos, and I will see you just as soon as I can get there. In the meantime, may the 4th be with you. I have been on the road since about the 9th of March, and I've been working long days and getting lots of good work done. A lot of folks already taken care of, but you are still waiting on me. We've had repairs along the way like we always do, and I've come home really late at night some nights.
This day is our Mother's Day tea party.
Well, that's wonderful. Okay, we're going to have to start over.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put you down, okay? You going to go ride your bike?
Yeah.
Okay. Because we'll never get through the business part of this.